Okay, that should be a bit better. Let me turn on the light maybe. Stop there. Should be. Pretty sure. Okay. What are we doing today? So, last time I've been training punching, right? The problem is, I don't. I'm gonna do it again, obviously, because I want to learn how to punch. It's useful, obviously, but the problem is, I kind of wrecked my knuckles a bit. Maybe a bit is an understatement. Quite a lot, actually. So, yeah, I know it doesn't look very bad. It doesn't. And I know it doesn't hurt, but from experience, I can know how annoying it can be. If you train, when your head is, oh shit, the skin is falling off. When you train when your skin is really torn apart, that's not a good experience, really. Okay, so what I want to do now is that's gonna be quick. I promise. That's gonna be quick. 15 minutes, 20 at most. So what I want to do tonight is focus on one thing, because lately I've been in videos, I've been talking about one and going to another. Same. So tonight I really want to focus on footsteps. So I'm going to even lower it a bit more, so you can see. Like this. If I stand here, you should be able to see my feet. That's perfect. So I'm going to show you how you really need to stand. And why? Because it's really important. It's one of the most important things. And if you really are into it, I would rather you don't watch this. Because the feeling of achievement when you actually understand how to stand, this, how they call it, enlightenment, is, I'm going to say right now, I have two of them for my three years, 3.5, maybe around 4 years of swinging a stick, and I have two of them. So the first one appeared around 2.5 years after I started, and the second one around half a year ago, so 3 years. And that's, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's the single most, it's the best feeling I've ever felt. I don't care, having a good grade, having a 6 from physics exam, I don't know, going to Spain, going to Japan, it's not even close. I mean, going to Japan might be close actually, because I really want to go. I have to learn Japanese now. I'm learning it now. So, yeah, this enlightenment is, because you have I've put so much work into it. How it looks, I just was going. I was just going to school. I was like, wait, I'm feeling my feet. I was like, it's like so sudden. You don't expect this. It can be in the middle of a training. It wasn't in the middle of a training. I was going to school, and yeah, it's just such a good feeling. So, anyway, let's go back to it. So I told you last time that this is the normal position. This, you can stand like this, front. So I'm kind of, this is like kind of karate, right? That's what you pretty much do in karate. I have never tried karate. That's what I saw, right? But if you hold, you can do something like this. I like to do this and not stand like that. Why? Because from this position, you cannot really move sideways. You can move forward. And that's what they do, that's why I don't like it. But it's windy, so you're not gonna hear anything. So, this they do in, how is it called? Szermierka. The one when they have rapiers and just stick each other. Very boring, anyway. So, you wanna stand like this. Now, important thing, try to lift your weight. Before you do that, lift your weight. With all whole arms, just feel the center of weight of your, then raise it up. It raises everything, the stomach up. So if you're light on the legs, you can do it with arms raised, that's easier. Just push your arms out. Now, what you're gonna do is go into position like this, normally. Like one leg forward, one leg back. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower my center of weight. So I'm gonna bring my hands down, and I'm gonna push. Just as I said, this is very important. You don't push it here, because you cannot really do that. You cannot push. What you can do is use friction. So you can apply force to the friction, and the friction can stop you. That's exactly what you want to do. So you want to push your legs out or in. In is a bit, it's not really useful. You can train it, it's good for training. So I'm gonna push, I'm gonna apply my force like to this angle, like this. So I'm not going to go forward, right? I'm gonna go like this. So I'm still, my legs are full flexed. I'm putting full force into the ground, but I'm in an angle, because now I'm applying friction to it. So the angle is really high from the ground to my foot, to my center of force that I'm applying. But because of friction, because the angle is so big, the friction is also big. So what happens is after this, when I push it, I'm not sliding. It really depends on what you're weighing, you just have to feel the weight. Now, if you're standing like this, the best way to just train is just stand like this. Just apply force. The legs are gonna hurt. It is supposed to hurt, because if it hurts, you know you're gonna do right. I mean, if it hurts and you're doing it wrong, then that's bad. So, this is just experience, right? Like this. Why are you doing this? Good question. First of all, you don't really want to get pushed. If you are cutting someone, you really want to have complete control over your body. So if I do this, right? If I'm not gonna use this stance, let's say this, and I'm gonna do a normal slash, I'm gonna raise my weight up, so I'm not gonna go down, and I have not complete control. That's kind of what I mean. So when I do that, it does look good, right? But there's no force behind it. It is good for show off. That's very good for show off. Why? Because you're not applying force down, so you can have more momentum actually adding up. You have more to distribute, right? You can use your legs as a weight, not as a force generator, just as a weight. So I'm gonna move my weight, and as I'm doing this, I can generate more speed and power. But as you see, when I'm doing this, I'm not really applying force to the ground. I mean, I am, because that's pretty my habit at this point. But if I try not to do this, maybe let's try like this. Oh, that was better. I'm not hitting with full force because it's gonna break. Now, if I actually put force into my legs, I can have more control, and I can do this. So there wasn't sound. Why? Because I'm not really punching. Because what you are essentially doing when you raise your weight, you're very good at doing this. Being very fast, like going around. Now, if I apply force, I can do this. That's better. Why? Because I have control. Because if I'm doing this, you cannot think as fast as your hand is moving. You literally cannot. You cannot think faster than this. Impossible. So if you just go to someone and someone, hey, what you doing? And give me your wallet, right? So you can just go. I'm gonna tell you, the other person who was just talking to you is gonna be completely fucking stunned. Completely. Absolutely. Who is it? I don't know. So that's how you do it. That's really good for like starting a fight and just surprise attack. You just don't really care about the ground and how much power you have. Just want to hit someone. It's pretty much like when you're starting a fight. Maybe with a leg kick. Why? Because you're not gonna start the fight like this and go boom. No, you're gonna do something like this. Just to knock someone off the center of gravity, so they walk. And when they're off, you know they cannot counterattack, and you just go. That's when you kick. That's what it's for. Now, good question is, if I'm ever gonna use this in a fight? Probably not. The other question I can ask, will you ever go into the fight when you will have to use this, so you will, let's just say, life, maybe not life, but health is gonna get severely damaged? I would say no. Normal persons pretty much never gonna fight. Maybe one in their lifetime, but that's mostly when they're a teenager or a kid. Like I was in one too. So am I gonna get into more? Probably not. But if I will, I'll be really happy. So anyway, let's go back. So I'm gonna push. Then what you're gonna do? This is also really important. This is very important part. You will get the hang of it after some time. So now I'm pushing. Now we're gonna combine two tiers. So I'm gonna push my legs and I'm gonna raise my weight. Now that is gonna be weird because I'm pushing and I'm rising my weight. Just kind of weird because this is completely two opposites, right? You can think of it as yin and yang. So I'm gonna push my legs, I'm gonna raise my weight, and that's how I slash. Why? Because I'm trying to find a balance. Because if I completely don't go like this is how knives fight. If you realize, they have so much weight on them, they really cannot get pushed. They really try to stand their guard and hit as hard as they can. That's pretty much the point of it, right? So when they try to hit you, they'll do something like this, and pretty big swing. Why? Because they cannot take a lighter one because their sword is so heavy. Now, they stand also like this to generate more power, as I said, have more control because the sword is really heavy, and we just be ready to actually receive an attack. Just like sumo. Do you ever wonder why sumo are starting like this? They are starting like this. They are not just doing something like this, right? They are pushing it to the ground. When they are pushing someone, think of it logically. When I try to push someone, I'm not gonna do this. No, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get my leg back. I'm gonna push the leg at this angle. I'm gonna push it forward like this. So when I do this, I can push them, right? And I can throw hands. So that's pretty much what they do, right? So we just go this. Go. That's completely triable. I never tried sumo. I'm just trying to show you how it works. That they are actually using it as well. So they're pushing them off the ground, going like this, right? Because they're generating power there into the ground, so they're not gonna get pushed back. So if I stand like this, pushing one left, one right, if I throw this back, I'm not gonna get pushed. I mean, am I gonna get pushed when I stand like this? Oh, I am. You see? That's the difference. So if I'm gonna stand like this, normally, and go, I'm gonna get hit. But if I do this, push myself, I'm pushing the ground. That's why I'm not moving. So, now, how does it apply to striking? Well, as I said, if you want a quick, nice round, like just a normal slash, just take somebody off guard, not really taking notice of your feet is a good idea. So if you really want to have a quick attack, well, Another one, boxing, right? I know someone who's boxing, so he can tell you if it's good or not. Not about technique, but if the logically speaking, is it correct? Let's just have a look. So when they try to hit hard, what are they gonna do? Well, obviously, they just go like this. You can see they're taking a big step, they're going back, and they're hitting. That hurt. Now, if they want to have a quick, like a very quick jump, what they're gonna do is they're gonna jump up a little bit. Why? Why do they jump? Why the karate jump? Did you ever wonder that? They jump to actually lift their weight up and not push the ground, so they have more force and are easier to move their center of weight. Right? If I go here to move my center of weight, I have to do something like this, or go up, we jump. But my center of weight is still somewhere here. Right? If I could try to do a jump from this position, like this, right? But if I jump up a little bit, be quicker on my feet, right? So my center of weight is somewhere here still, but I can shift it with just a little hip movement. So I can go back, I can forward, right, I can do everything. But if I do this, you see how stiff this looks? And it is supposed to be stiff because that's what it's for. So let's try it again. If I try to do, a fairly quick jump with this, right? You see, I didn't put power behind it, right? So compare this to this. Right? Kicking as well. You see? This is like, if you want a good idea behind it, search for women karate. When they're having a sparring match with a man, which is, so a guy obviously is gonna be stronger, he's gonna be heavier, most of the times. So what's gonna happen is that they will take one position, which is like this. So this is something I call poke and run. That's how they do it. And it's completely understandable, because that's pretty much how you fight. That's pretty much karate is training you to do. So if you normally when boxing, just go like this. You really want your stiff legs, so when you get hit, you're not gonna fall down, right? You don't want to fall down. Now, what karate tells you to do is go up. So when you up against the stronger opponent, what do? You have to be faster. The bigger, the heavier, the stronger the opponent, the slower he is. Now, so what can you beat him? You cannot beat him in strength, not height, not power. You can beat him in speed. That's very crucial. That's the only thing you can beat him. So you have to put everything, every single your technique into speed mode. So if I'm normally against the guy my weight, right, I'm gonna go like this, I'm just gonna try to kick him. So when I'm against a really big guy, I'm gonna something like this. Go up, right? Okay, maybe don't do that, but he's not really gonna get moved by your shots if you haven't trained enough. So you really just want to go, that's what I call poke and run, right? So they do something like this. They wait for the moment, the opportunity, just go around, jump around like this, go left, right. They have a lot of stamina. So you just go this, you see the opportunity, I slid there. I did something like this. So, but that's the main point behind it, right? So, this, or go back. poke. And when he gets frustrated, just go, okay, that's done. Lowers his guard, that's what you've been waiting for, right? Go. And poke and run again. So, that's pretty much what it's for. So, a quick short recap. It's been 20 minutes, perfect. Recap. If you want a strong punch, push the ground. If you don't want to, raise up. If you want to train or just normal technique at home, do both. So I'm gonna show you 3 strikes each with different foot movement. That's gonna be it. So we can pretty much compare, right? So first of all, I'm gonna push. Up. And both. Okay, I use the one arm because that's... let's go again. So, you probably didn't see much difference behind it because you cannot really see, you just have to feel it. So, I mean, you cannot see the difference way behind something like this and something like this. But I can tell you the second one has way more power behind it. And you just have to feel it. So, teaching someone how to strike by showing how to strike, you just have to try it yourself, right? So, that was it. Fuck off.